Welcome to the Vetiver Vibes podcast. We're your hosts, Nikki Fraser, Rachel Dean, and Rhonda Greenberry, certified clinical aromatherapists, coming to you from Ontario, Canada, and on the internet everywhere. We're excited that you have given your time to be here with us, knowing you'll get the best essential oil scoop. This episode is brought to you by Essentria, a leading online school for aromatherapy. If you want to learn more about how to use aromatherapy with kids, check out the mini courses at www.schoolofessentria.com.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rachel Dean.
I'm Nikki Fraser.
And we are happy to welcome you to Vetiver Vibes. We're here to discuss aromatherapy and how to safely use them in your daily life. Vetiver Vibes is brought to you by Essentria Aromatherapy School, which is a leading online school to become a certified aromatherapist that is recognized by both the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists and NAHA. Essentria has a great free introductory course that you can join and learn about the basics of safety of essential oils and many top essential oil uses. Today, our episode is all about lavender, which is an oil many are likely very familiar with.
Yes, so today we are going to dive deep into lavender, which has a botanical name, Lavandula augustifolia or Lavandula officinalis. Both names are used interchangeably, so whichever your bottle says, as long as it says one of those two, you are going to be using true lavender. Lavender is probably one of the most known essential oils out there. You can find it in so many different products. It's in shampoos, baby soaps, bath salts, linen sprays. I've seen it in stuff to help with ants and mice and rodents. It's out there everywhere. I think lavender and then tea tree would probably be the second most common one, but we just see it promoted in so many different things, almost as a way of like, if my kid's not sleeping, let's just douse it with this fake lavender, which I always find interesting. So we're going to talk to you about all the benefits of the real lavender. And this pretty plant is purple, it's vibrant. It can be grown all over the world. We actually went and visited a beautiful lavender farm just outside of Hamilton in Ontario, and it was stunning, and the fragrance was rich of lavender. But most of these little farms don't necessarily produce enough to make the quantities that some of the larger essential oil companies need. So when you're looking at purchasing lavender essential oil, most of the oil is often going to be coming from France, Bulgaria, Australia, and Ukraine. The essential oil itself, the essence is in the top flowering part of the plant, and it's steam distilled to extract the essence and become essential oil. Lavender is very high in esters. So when we're looking at the chemistry, all of our oils have a chemical component. There's chemistry behind aromatherapy, which is fantastic. And esters is a big part of lavender. Anything that's high in ester is really great anti-inflammatory. It's a really great analgesic, so helping with pain management, sedative, which is amazing for sleep, antispasmodic. Those are just a few of the many benefits. It also contains a really high amount of alcohols, and not alcohols like you think when you're drinking or anything like that. The chemical composition, I often get the question of like, there's alcohol in these? No, not the same thing. But a chemistry alcohol is really strong antibacterial, antiviral, and it's very balancing. So a lot of times if we're out of balance, something high in alcohols is going to be fantastic.
So lavender is known as a gentler oil. It's a great oil to use with kids and those with sensitive skin. Some of the ways that we all love using lavender oil are for bug bites. It works great when it's paired with tea tree. Minor burns, including sunburns, acne, sore muscles, sleep, as we've mentioned for sure. Dry skin, earaches also works great when you're paired with tea tree. Just roll it around the ears. Mm-hmm. Headaches, when skin's red and inflamed and irritated, using lavender diluted at 1%, gently massaging it over the area can help bring down that inflammation and irritation. It's great to add to Epsom salts. A squirt of carrier oil in a nice warm bath is it's just amazing. It's so relaxing, especially when you pair it with cedarwood and juniper berry. Very relaxing and just can help your body rest and restore itself. So that's something I like to do after a very long day, very stressed day. And then adding it to diffusers at night. And you can pair that with Roman chamomile, and diffusing it for 30 minutes while you're preparing for bed can also help you kind of shut down and have a great night's sleep.
Lavender also has many etheric options, helping to remove any lingering bad vibes that people have left behind. This is amazing when you're going into hotels, or you've moved into a new house, or just you had a party, a mix or something, you had a big group of people over, and you can just feel like that vibe. Spritzing a bit of lavender, even dropping lavender in a corner of a room, just kind of helps dispel any of those wonky vibes that are lingering. It can help support the heart chakra, helping to soothe matters of the heart. Anything, our heart chakra all of our chakras can be vulnerable. So really great for that. And also our crown chakra, it'll be fantastic to help support that. Using lavender with the new moon, as it can help setting intentions and new beginnings. I've been trying to use more and more aromatherapy around the moon phases. And this is one that I really like to use around new moons. There's so many different ways on how we can use lavender. These are just some of our favorite ways.
This quick break is brought to you by Essentria. Back to school time is here, and Essentria has 4 courses for the price of 1. Join the Aromatherapy and Business Bundle course, which is discounted to the price of our Clinical Aromatherapy Certification course, and get the Pregnancy and Aromatherapy plus the Children and Aromatherapy mini courses free. Sale is on until September 11th, 2022. You get 475 hours of clinical aromatherapy certification information recognized by both the Canadian Federation of Aromatherapists and as a Level 3 NAHA course.
Just to share a few different ways. Also, my husband was cooking one night, and we often cook with cast iron pans. And he totally forgot to grab the oven mitt before he grabbed the cast iron pan. So anyone who cooks with cast iron.
And my oldest did that last week.
Oh, yeah.
The same thing.
It's not fun. I've touched it before, definitely with like the side of my arm, but to my recollection, I don't think I've ever actually fully grabbed. He grabbed it from the oven and actually made it to the other side of the counter before he let go. I have no idea how, and his hand
That's
was
exactly
just,
what my kid did too.
oh,
It was
the
a mess.
blisters. Yeah. So
Yeah.
we actually did, I did a cold bath, a glass container with a little bit of water and some helichrysum hydrosol. And then I added in some lavender and frankincense and a cool cloth, and then I put a cloth in it. And you have to make sure that the water is not cold though. You don't want cold water. You want it like more room temperature, and then put the cloth in it. And I had 2 cloths, and about every 5 minutes for the first hour, we just rotated between those 2 cloths. And then we used that for probably about 2 days. And just to help with the healing process. It didn't hurt by day 2, but just to help with that healing process to continue to heal faster. And it did actually, like, none of them really blistered up more after we started putting on the compress, I was very shocked.
Yeah, with my oldest as well. There was big blisters on the fingers, and the lavender definitely helped a bit. And the fingers have healed quite nicely. There was still like really big blisters, but they never popped. They stayed healthy. There was no infection or scarring. It looks like they're almost healed now, so they're doing well. One of my favorite stories with lavender is just in that first day when I first kind of started getting into essential oils. Somebody passed me a lavender bottle to smell, and I was like, I hate the smell of lavender, people. Like, please, like, I will smell all these other bottles, but not lavender, because I hate it. When my kids were super little, people would bought me all of these baby washes and stuff, which you were talking about earlier, Nikki, and I hated them. It was just the smell that just made me. It made me physically ill. And when they passed me the bottle, like, no, just smell this. It'll smell different, Rachel, I promise. And I was like, okay, fine. And I opened up the bottle and I took like this big whiff and I was like, oh my God, this smells like lavender from my garden, which had in my head just never really connected, because lavender to me was this really fake smell that came from like the shampoos and the soaps and all of those like lotions and stuff that people buy you and gift you and all of that kind of thing. And I had always made sure in all of my homes that I had a lavender plant because I just love the smell of that. And when I opened the bottle, I was like, oh my gosh, the bottle, like that lavender is now in this bottle. And it was amazing. And I fell in love with it from that standpoint. So things made with lavender, things that smell like lavender now are great because I still keep all those other yucky ones out of my house. But lavender essential oil has its lovely place in my home. So,
nice. And it is, the smell is just so astronomically different. It's crazy.
Night and day for sure.
I know my kids, especially when we visited a few family members who live right on edge of forest, and we actually go walking through forest and hiking often enough in the summertime, especially. And there's always mosquitoes. So they sometimes come home covered in bug bites when we're hiking around, and I forget to put anything on them beforehand. So
and they're done that.
Yeah, and being tiny as they are, doesn't matter if it's itchy or not. They just see it and it's just like, oh, I have a bug bite. Now it's itchy. So I've made many roller bottles that are lavender and tea tree. I do these ones at a higher percent, typically around a 10%, and just a little tiny dot on that bug bite. And within 5 minutes, they're no longer complaining it's itchy. Myself, when I have bug bites, same thing, I'll put it on. And if I get it on fast enough, it never itches again. That is the part that I love the most, is as soon as I see a bug bite, like, because sometimes they can be itchy for a full week.
Forever.
Weeks. Yeah. But I find if I see it and like I can get it on without scratching it first, as soon as I put it on, it never becomes itchy. It'll be there until the swelling goes down, which actually also goes down a lot faster. But that's the part that to me, I'm like, okay, guys, don't itch it. And then I can put it on you and then they're gone.
Of course, yeah. I find a lavender roller bottle is like an essential, it's part of like my essential oils kit.
Yeah.
You have to there's a couple that I would always have around, and that's one because it can help with like the headaches and stuff like we were talking about, pain, their mosquito bites and things like that. So you just have it handy and you can use it all the time. So it's one of the ones that I always have to have available to me because it's so versatile.
It is. Well, and I find that's why often people consider it like the Swiss Army knife of oils, because it can just be used for so many different things. I know when you mentioned headaches, when I had my concussion, it was part of my concussion blend.
That makes
I had
sense.
a couple of concussion blends and it was definitely part of it, just to help with the inflammation, the headaches, the healing, all of it.
Yeah. And I know we were talking about burns earlier too, but there's sunburns, and lavender in a sunburn is also great. So unfortunately in the summer, we sometimes, get a little bit too much sun. I'm very tanned, as you can see. I have a pool and I spend a lot of time in my backyard. I try not to burn very much so, but occasionally there's a day and you're like, oops. And so in the summer, I always make up a spray as well that's mostly lavender, has a little bit of tea tree and frankincense in it. And it's a wonderful spray, and I'll put that on. Usually it's on my husband's back because he doesn't always take his best care of himself. And I find that it takes away the burn right away, and he doesn't peel. It takes away the pain. He can sleep no problem. Probably makes him sleepy because it's got the lavender in it. So it's a great spray for sure.
Yeah.
And actually I'll put the recipe for it in the show notes.
Oh, great. Because that's definitely something that's often needed.
Yeah. And since it's July, so people will still be using it.
Yes.
Sun spray after sun spray.
Yeah. I know we used to have it in our Monster spray at night when the kids were very tiny. We don't use Monster spray anymore, but when they were very tiny, I would have, and it was just with some hydrosols and oils that were calming. And they weren't really big believers in monsters, but that was just the name we'd given it. And it was just their calm down at night. They had fun and they would go around their room and they would just spray everything. Actually, we would just call it monster spray, and then we would set our intentions while we did it. So it was kind of a nice little ritual at night. But it had lavender, I think it was lavender, cedarwood, and maybe Roman chamomile or sandalwood. I don't remember exactly. I'd have to go back to all my old recipes, but it
for sure.
They loved it, and they would just themselves walk around. So they had that empowerment of being able to set their room how they wanted, and then they would say, one thing that they were happy about throughout their day, type thing. And it was
that's nice.
Great
that's a great tradition for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, my son, when he was younger, every night it was fill up the diffuser, put a couple of drops of lavender, and there was something else, and there's definitely cedarwood, I think juniper berry as well, and we'd put that in every night, and it was just this great calming thing that he'd fall asleep right away. He was never one to get up and wander the house or not go to sleep and stuff, and he just loved his tradition of setting this up every night. We'd read books while the diffuser was running, and then he would drift off to sleep. A lovely time every night. So
that's nice.
Even just bringing the essential oils into that routine is great for your children for sure.
Yeah, just to help. Like the days are so stressful and overstimulating. That's the thing. Kids are so overstimulated, I find. And that was always, my second, he just couldn't stop. He couldn't turn it off. He'd be up for hours, and oils never really helped him sleep long periods or necessarily even go to sleep earlier, but it would help him be able to just go from here down to here where he could just play quietly and be happy. Which is all we cared about, where he was no longer crying, overstimulated, and just didn't know what to do, where to go. He could just bring himself down. And I found that's our nightly ritual would help him do that, which was a game changer.
Awesome. Wonderful.
So these are just a few of the ways that Rachel and I have used lavender in our daily lives with our families. We would love to hear from you about how you use lavender in your life, with yourself, your family, your friends. We are always looking on new ways to incorporate this amazing oil into our lives, and we'd love to hear from everybody.
Please share your stories with us. Send them in. We love to hear them, and we want to hear from you. We want to hear who's out there listening to us.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us on Vetiver Vibes, brought to you by Essentria. You can connect with us anytime on Facebook and Instagram at School of Essentria. Learn more about certification courses, mini courses, and join the free introductory course on the website www.schoolofessentria.com. We look forward to you tuning in next time on Vetiver Vibes. Bye, everyone.
This episode was brought to you by Essentria, a leading online aromatherapy school. You can join their free introductory to essential oil course at www.schoolofessentria.com. If you love this episode or you got a lot of value out of it, please make sure you share it with someone in your community who you think would enjoy it too. If you haven't already subscribed or reviewed the show yet, you can go on over to your preferred streaming platform and hit subscribe, then leave a review. This is the best way to help support us, and we appreciate it. Email us with a screenshot of the review, and you will be entered into our monthly draw for a free mini course. This podcast is for information purpose only. We are certified clinical aromatherapists and holistic health professionals. If you have a medical concern, please refer to your health team. Everyone's health is unique to themselves, so the topics and suggestions stated may or may not apply to you.